Calder's talking to me saying, this is a pretty big step. It's like, indeed it is. That's a pretty big step. That's one of the very reasons why we set sail. Why we left mass consciousness in a way. Why we're heading out to new sentience, self-love. And finally, an understanding of true creation. Not the old style. Doesn't work. Doesn't work because of human limitations. Doesn't work. Let's take a deep breath. Feeling into creation for the sake of creation. That's where you get your hands off the wheel, off controlling. That's where you don't need the mind to define. The human mind, I can tell you right now, doesn't really know what you want or need. It doesn't. It thinks it does because it thinks. But it really doesn't understand what you truly desire. Consciousness, you, by nature, are creators. Constantly creating. Even right now, in realms that you're not even aware of. Your dreams that you have at night, but the dreams you're dreaming right now that you're not aware of, are a form of creation. And not the human dreams where they're frustrating and trying to work out dream details of your human life. Those, like I've said before, are the ones you remember when you wake up. But right now, you're dreaming at many different levels, creating at many different levels. This level here, interfacing light with matter, gravity, it's a little bit different form of creation. It's very visceral, very real. You think you're really in this reality. You think you're really living it. It's so real. But you learn to understand that that's just part of creation. And even this realm that you're in, the realm of matter, actually can be a perfect garden for creation. As rigid as it is, as dense as it is, it can be so perfect for true creation. And experiencing that from the human perspective, but experiencing, I hate to even put words on it, but experiencing the grandness and the glory of true creation. And please remember, it's not you, the human identity, that is creating, not you just by yourself. It becomes a co-creation with the I am soul. You, the human identity, which is constantly morphing and changing, become the experiencing part of it. But then you realize you actually always have been the human, the master, and the soul. And so we then just let all those terms and definitions go out the door. That's when you take a deep breath. I create. And then I experience the glory, the grandness, the majesty of my creations. And my creations are allowed to change and to shift and to transform even as I walk through them. They're not held tightly into place. There's nothing to fix in them. It's about experiencing the I am that I am. It's a very, very different way to live, to experience. Going from efforting, hard work, a lot of affirmations, ceremonies. Sorry, but humans. A lot of ceremonies, a lot of visualizations. That is not creation. That is energy manipulation, but it's not creation. You get to a point where you realize that it's your energy. It doesn't need to be manipulated. It's constantly responding to you and to your desire to be a creator. As a true creator, it can create things that the human couldn't even imagine. Not just universes, not just cosmoses, but things you couldn't even possibly imagine. And you begin to realize how limited and even how silly some of your attempts at creation have been. If you stand on 1 foot at a full moon in the rain and embark certain types of mantras, you think that's going to cause creation. The energy, your energy is like, okay, we'll respond, but we're just going to give you more to bark at. More standing on one leg. It's not creation whatsoever. It's human neediness. That's all it is. Let's take a deep breath and go beyond that now. Into true creation. And as I said at the beginning of the Shoud, it's so important right now to open up, because true creation doesn't occur when you're all closed down, when you're not letting your light naturally open up. Then you just won't be able to be aware of what you're creating. It's when your light is open, when there's nothing to fix, and when you're acknowledging alatone, I am a creator. Actually, the creator. Because you're creating your own reality. And then step back, and things are going to shift and change, and maybe it might seem disruptive at first, but it's not. Things are being cleared out. That's when you step back, and then you get that first glimpse of what you've created. That garden that isn't the things that you planted or thought were supposed to go in there. The garden that wasn't all the careful cultivating and tending to the plants and obsessing over them. Something completely different grew there. Not the flowers, not the trees that you had thought were going to be there, but something far, far more majestic. Like what happened to Elias. Let's take a good deep breath with that. Don't try to figure this all out. Just take a deep breath and feel it. True creation has no purpose. It does not need one. You look back at some point and say, oh my gosh, I struggled and tried so hard, worked at it so hard to create what? Just enough? Just barely enough to get by, when all this time it was waiting for me. Allowing creation at a level far beyond what the human could possibly imagine, where you don't even have to worry about things like abundance or health or any of that. It's not that you're focusing on overcoming those, it just becomes meaningless. And you realize, I am an embodied master on this planet. Let's take a good deep breath with that. Good deep breath. Letting go of the old concepts of creation. Let's take a good deep breath. With that, dear Shambhala, remember that all is well in all of creation. I am ADAMUS of sovereign domain. Thank you.